Over the weekend, Uganda was playing in Ambore for the very first time since 2019. Yeah, the last time we played Malawi, we beat them 2-0. And this time in this World qualifiers, we are home again, and we're so excited to be home. The first game was against Botswana on Friday, which we won by a certain margin. That was 1-0. But I'm not here to talk specifically about football. I just want to highlight the negatives and positives and what we need to do to improve the whole experience. So welcome on this channel. And if you new, you just tuned in for the very first time, just take this moment now and subscribe. So let's begin. On the first game, the whole experience was amazing. We just walked through the line with my friend, and everything was smooth. The roads were blocked up, so we didn't have a lot of traffic on the junction coming from Pueyogelele through Joka. So all those roads were blocked off. The people were coming to enjoy football. Actually, had a smooth day on that day, and the whole ticketing process was smooth. I bought my ticket through Momo. MTN was offering actually discounted tickets. There are 3 avenues of acquiring tickets. One was through the Nambole ticketing platform, and then you could buy physical tickets at authorized distributors from authorized distributors, and then Momo, and Momo discounted their tickets by 5k. So when I bought at Momo, and you enter through that gate. By then you had to convert your e-ticket into a physical ticket which had a seat number. My Momo tickets were ordinary, and they arranged how people are going to enter. People had ordinary tickets were supposed to use, were not supposed, were actually using the northern and the eastern gates. If your ticket was yearly, you're supposed to use if your ticket was yearly, yes, you're supposed to go through the eastern gate, and if it was red, you're supposed to use the northern gate. But when you entered, if you bought through Momo, you had to convert your ticket to a physical ticket. So there were MTN guys there with the scanners, and they were scanning, and then they issue a physical ticket. That ticket had a gate number where you enter through the stadium and your seat number. So if you came late, you could, there were no arrangements. So seat numbers on Momo tickets for Momo ticket holders were allocated on a first come, first serve basis. On the first actually, since it was my first experience in the new renovated stadium, I didn't even know the seat arrangements and the numbers, which seat was allocated to each number. So I just found myself getting a ticket. When I reached in the stadium, I saw I was way up, and I don't want to be so much distant from the center of action. Actually, the stadium's is still undergoing renovation. It's not yet finished. On the day we were there, UPDF guys were trying to fix the rhinos for men. So each section actually has there's so many rooms of convenience. So before we used to walk long distances, could get out of your gate where you sit, the section you seated, and you walk around to find toilets. But this time toilets are actually everywhere, and I want to commend guys doing renovation for making them very accessible. I think the Botswana game is one of the games I actually had a great experience in Nambore. I remember one time guys, if you remember that game where we drew with Kenya 0-0, we were supposed to qualify for Africa Cup of Nations, and we just needed a win. Unfortunately, we didn't score. The congestion I saw on that day, I'd never seen it. And that day I made a decision and I said I'll never go back into that general stands. I'll always buy a VIP ticket because I didn't like the congestion. I couldn't get out. I couldn't stand. I was basically stuck in one place for over 5 hours. When we entered, it was a very good experience. The seats were allocated. Each person was sitting on the allocated seats. Though we virtually moved because when the game started, people were coming in late. At kickoff, the stadium was not full. So we moved nearer to the center of action. And to me there, I decided and said there is no need actually to pay a VIP ticket anymore because the seats are actually the same except that the VIP have the Ugandan flag. After that observation, I concluded that it doesn't make sense anymore for me to pay a VIP ticket and I go sit on the same. The VIP ticket is 50,000. The general ticket is 25,000. So it's not worth it anymore. The seats are the same except for the color. So I thought it's going to be the same, and I resolved that Monday game I'll go back into the stadium with my daughter so that she can have experience, can watch the Cranes play for the very first time. So the Botswana game actually offered perfection. After the game, the exit was okay. There was no condition. Everything was smooth. And I was so excited to go back to catch the Algeria game again. Oh, people, what a disappointment. First of all, that whole process was a mess. Right out from where you get it. In my mind, if these guys can pull off such a good game, that's such good organization on the first game of the return of the mighty Cranes to Namboile, then the second game is going to be meticulous. I was so disappointed. One, the roads were not blocked off, so cars were passing through. Guys, you know that section, down section Nam, where you get it, coming to Namboile and then it connects to Chileka. It was not blocked off, so cars were passing through. It was a mess coming through that stretch. Then we endured and then entered. Remember, I told you you had to convert your digital ticket into a physical ticket with a seat number. The whole process was a mess. There were so many people, and MTN guys looked like they were overwhelmed, understaffed, and they had no idea what they were doing. Then when we went through that hassle, we spent like 5-6 minutes trying to convert our tickets into a physical ticket. Then eventually when we were done, still they had to scan at the final entrance to the stadium. Those gates, they had to scan a ticket there and you enter. And that process was also messed up. And eventually I understand that ticketing system broke down. When you go to a certain, you're excited, you are lost in the excitement of the moment. So you don't realize what happened. Then it hit me. I needed to go out and visit the washrooms. That's when I saw trouble. People, I saw wahala. I saw trouble. First of all, the walkways, all seated with people. And these people were not frukers. These are actually guys who had paid their money, that paid their tickets. It turns out to me, I think FUFA should come out and explain and issue a statement about the whole mess in Namboile. It looked out to me that like FUFA issued more tickets than the allocated seats. So the stadium was filled to capacity. Actually, before even kickoff, the stadium was filled to capacity. And then you have people still entering and they had nowhere to sit. So people found themselves, a lot of fans were sitting on the walkways, coming in the stadium and getting out. And so many of those, especially those who had bought through Momope, couldn't get their tickets converted. And a lot of people missed the game. They stayed out. My frustration was I wanted to go for a short call and I couldn't make my way through. And guys who were seated on the staircases were violent, were aggressive. They were abusing everyone. They are frustrated, and I can understand their frustration because you paid your money and you cannot find a seat. I actually failed on my first attempt to get out, and I went back and I sat. But then the situation was unbearable and I had to make a tough decision to go through those people. I asked them, please stand up. I want to come out. I'm coming back. Stand up. I want to pass out. Come out. So it was a hassle. Then when eventually I went out and I went, did my business and I finished getting back to where I was, coming through all the bodies of people. My people, that was not a good experience. In the moment there, I lost a guy who lost his phone. We just saw hands into his pockets. We didn't know which hands were. Guys just entered the guy's pocket, pulled out the phones, and he lost it in the middle of curfew. I'd resolved to bring my daughter, but I thank God that I didn't bring her for that game. And I want to give Fufa a benefit of a doubt that this maybe was an isolated incident. Maybe next time, the next game is going to be better. But if you have kids, unless you are paying for a VIP ticket, don't try to bring them back. So, looks like we're back to what took me to pay VIP tickets every single game. That was the congestion, the unplanning in the general pavilion, in the general stands. That was the reason why I always paid the VIP ticket. If you were in the stadium yesterday, or if you cannot relate, let me remind you guys, if you were in that game, Uganda versus Kenya, I'll never forget on that fateful day. First of all, the game was beginning at 5. We were in the stadium by midday, and by 1, we were all sat down. It rained that day, and I couldn't get out. We couldn't excuse ourselves to find shelter because people were everywhere. That's exactly what happened yesterday during the Algeria game. And unfortunately, after all that frustration we lost, look at what people are going through people's minds. So I want to encourage FUFA to come and address these things. Last time we had no seats. This time we have seats. Issue tickets that are exactly the numbers of seats. Thank you. Please subscribe to this channel. God bless you.